How great is our God? What a fabulous community we are. You know, in the culture of my ancestors, my grandparents are Native American. We celebrate with ceremony wonderful life. We celebrate all there is in life. Our brothers and sisters, the Navajo, have a beautiful celebration. When a baby is born into the tribe, it's a wonderful celebration. But when that baby grows from infancy into toddler and laughs for the first time, that laugh is shared with the entire tribe. The entire tribe comes together in sacred ceremony to celebrate the love and the laughter, the happiness and joy of this new beautiful soul that is now part of the tribe. And it is my pleasure today to introduce to you from our tribe, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes and Gabriella Wright.
And so there was a school teacher that asked her children, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And one girl says, "I will be the President of the United States." And a little boy says, "I want to be an astronaut." And another little boy says, I want my own hospital that people actually go to get well. That's what I want." And so then she comes to little Billy and she goes, "Billy, I haven't heard you say anything. What do you want to be?" He says, "Oh, Miss Smith, I just want to be possible." And she said, "I've not ever heard that before." He says, "Well, Miss Smith, my mama, she's always saying to me, 'Billy, you are impossible.' And I just want to be possible." You know? I think of that story very often. You know, my teacher told my parents in 6th grade that I was never going to amount to anything because I talked too much. Can you imagine? Right? I mean, can you imagine? And many of you have had someone, I know, many of you have had, can't help myself, many of you have had someone tell you, whether it was someone that didn't take the parent class that could have, or religiosity, someone somewhere told you something about what's not possible to you. And possibility is what instills the love of life, and it is what instills the determination to be happy no matter what is going on outside of you, you see. So possibility is our medicine for everyday life. The other night, a friend of mine saw me dancing, and he said to me, I didn't know you loved dancing. I said, "Love dancing? Oh my gosh, I love dancing so much that the song Dancing Queen for about 20 years has been my favorite song ever. I love it. I really love it so much." And I went on to tell him, and you know what? The people that are in my close circle, they know that when I die, that's the theme song throughout my entire memorial service, right? And he said to me, he said, "Temple, you can't die." And I said, "I don't have time to die." Right? As long as there is a child that is abused, as long as animals are not treated with respect, as long as people need to feed their egos to kill an innocent animal to put a trophy on the wall. As long as people can't be home because they are so medicated, as long as greed is our decision maker on our planet, I don't have time to die. You don't have time to die. Not at all. It's time to live boldly.
There is no time to die. And as you know, this is my first time here. This is my first time. And everything's been perfect except one thing. I didn't get the memo. I'm not wearing waterproof mascara. So I'm literally like going like this, checking if I'm shining, dripping, if I might look like a clown or something, because I'm feeling you. I am feeling all of you. I am hearing your inner voices. I am so hearing these inner voices that are not even spoken yet because they haven't come into existence, but they are because you're here. You know? And you know, sometimes you don't have to speak. You know, I'm a meditation teacher. We often sit cross-legged on the ground, sometimes levitating, sometimes not. But sometimes we don't need words. We just need presence. But then you come here, and then you hear the choir. And then you hear like something so grand and something so magnificent that is channeled through them, through these beautiful divine instruments, which we all are, by the way. Important, let's remember that. But I am so grateful to witness this, because this is how we become the witnessing awareness of our lives, right? When we're triggered by stimulations, by hearing an exterior voice, that's our inner voice that's speaking. That's our inner voice that needs to come out. And sometimes the voice comes out with just tears and water and joy. That's all it is. And we gotta accept that. Because we have had enough of death. We have had enough of dying. We have to be alive not only for ourselves but for others. We have to be the leading example of life, that vital energy that has no words, that is just constantly there behind our consciousness at all times. No matter what waterfall, what cliff we're diving off. What do you think? Himalayan?
I'm right on there with you, like, yeah.
Yeah, like that, right? Like that.
I feel it.
Like down.
Bam.
Deep,
yeah.
deep, down.
Get on down, yeah. Down, deep, yeah.
We all know how to swim in consciousness. We are consciousness.
I also know, perhaps many of you in the room, I know I've certainly had this conversation before, that you have a sense like, I might be dying, or I could die. And because as a society, we're so afraid of that word, the very nature of the word die often gives us, our adrenals start going and we get some kind of anxiety because we're so determined it won't happen in our time, am I right? But I invite you spiritually to hold it in a different way. When you have those thoughts come up, rather than depress them and shut them down, entertain them. Because it doesn't mean when you hear that voice, you're not being called to have a physical death. You're called to have a spiritual death. You're called to let go of false identification of all these ideas and ways that are not real for you anymore. They served you at the time, but there's new wanting to grow in your spiritual tree of life, right? And one of the things that I find so interesting is how people are so fascinated with near-death experiences. But I want you to know I'm an advocate for near-life experiences, right? Near-life experiences. And that is so important. So important in our lives. Because the near-life experiences mean if somebody has hurt you, don't hang on to that the rest of your life. Give somebody else the chance to do the same, to wake you up to a different reality. Right? If something's happened in your life, show up again and allow the new of you to come through. The near-life experiences, when you reflect every night about your day and you ask yourself, was I present? Did I hear them? Did I get off my Twitter and my Instagram and my Slam and my Bam and my Facebook long enough to sit in the room? I mean, I've had people over and I start texting them from the dining room table. How you been? You understand that? So we look at our near-life experiences of don't miss the moment in front of you. It is the moment of reactivation that will bring you to a new place, but be willing to show up, not 100%, but 150%, you see. You know, it's interesting, probably like, oh yeah, you got the boots going on, and I love shoes. You know, there was a meme on Facebook that said, don't ever doubt that shoes are important. If you do, ask Dorothy and Cinderella. Right? Shoes are very important, and you wearing and being a messenger for life is one of the most valuable things you can ever bring to this planet, is the value of life.
I agree. I couldn't have said anything better than that.
Oh, yes, you could.
I could have
Take
not.
it on.
She's a liar. But just to conclude this incredible presence with you, life is precious.
Yes.
Life is really precious. We have so much to do. We've got so many near-life experiences to share with each other, you know? We have so many, you know, identities to transcend, but also to be. You know what? Because we can be anything that we want to be. From that complete space of pure possibility, we can be Cinderella, Dancing Queen, ABBA, Temple, me if you want to be me. You know, it's like we can be each and every one of us because we're all the same source. We're all the same source. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be you today. Thank you. Thank you.
Gabriella Wright.